Hello, and welcome everybody. We are going to have a guest this evening. We're just waiting for her to head on over. She's finishing up on her channel. It is Carol. Oh, I always forget how to say it because I just found her.
Creative Corner.
Carol's Creative Corners. I just found her, so I'm excited. So I'm still learning her name. I know it's Carol because that's what my mom's name is. So it's easy to remember her name, just not her YouTube name. So how are you, Heather?
I'm here. I am present.
So I changed up my background a little bit today. I figured
like it.
I would bring in the candles and the LED light strip that changes colors.
Give
Right
it a
now I
more
have my-
intimate look.
Yeah. And then I changed the background on the StreamYard to the waterfall. Dwayne, did you see what Dwayne said? He said, the sexy ladies of StreamYard. Yeah, maybe your wife, not this girl. I don't feel it, but thank you. Hello, Johnny. Hello, Barbara. Hello, Aunt Kelly. How are you doing? Hello, Dwayne. I don't know what. Oh, I thought he was come over and say hi or something. He got up real quick, threw me off guard, or threw me off a little bit. So yes, like I said, we are going to have a guest this evening. She's just finishing up on her channel. I can see on Tommy's computer, him and his mega screens over there. He loves his mega screens. Although
Wayne's got a mega screen.
Tommy's got 3. What are they? 40 inch? 30 inch?
Good heavens.
That's a 42 and 230s.
142
and 232.
and 232 screen setup. So he's got 3 monitors. That's a whole lot of monitors. Whole lot of monitor.
I got a laptop that's on its last breath.
I have 2 tiny screens compared to his. Like my 2 screens.
I will be right back.
One of his. It's like one of his. It's crazy. It's crazy. He has size envy. Dwayne says you have size envy. And, of course, it doesn't show up on StreamYard when I look over and read it over on actual YouTube. So go figure. This will be fun today. Oh, there it goes. All right. There he goes. There he goes. Very sassy. Sassy. But how is everybody else tonight? I know that we had a pretty good, interesting weekend. Finally got the food pantry done. Yay. So happy for that. So happy that our food pantry is done. That was a lot of work and a lot more stuff than I thought.
What did you end up doing with everything?
A lot of it, food-wise, we're donating, and then to some needy families in the community. And then the rest of it, like the kitchen stuff, we had like 2-3 different things for, what was it? We had a couple, let me think, blenders. We had a couple shredders. We had a couple of everything. I don't know where it all came from, but now we only have one of everything. And then I have a basket in there with and I don't know what it's called, but it's like a shredder, and I can't even remember all that. It's got a lot of attachments to it. So we were able to get rid of a lot of stuff that we had in there. And then I organized everything. I wrote all our spices down. I wrote like all our spices and cooking stuff that we have so that I know what we have. And then the extra kitchen utensils Tommy's going to sell. So, or all the kitchen gadgets extra that we have, except for the new waves. We have 2 new waves in there, and those are Tommy's babies. So I didn't get rid of those. Am I ready for Christmas? Aunt Kelly, actually, I can't believe it's almost Christmas already. The only thing I'm looking forward to for Christmas is Tommy's birthday. I get to make him a homemade spice cake, and I'm excited about that. So with homemade cream cheese frosting, so it'll be fun. You don't need a pair and a spare of blenders. No, no, I don't. I didn't realize we had all that stuff, honestly. So it was nice to get through that and get that all done and separated, and now it's all nice and neat. And then let's see, what else did we do this week? Oh, we spent Saturday with my mom for Christmas, and that was fun. I got I said it earlier today, and now I can't remember what it is. It's a fancy cleaner. What is it called? Oh, he's busy. And then Tommy got some washers. And anyone know where to get coal and how much is shipping to? I don't know how much it is. It depends on where you're shipping from. Honestly. Oh, what do you mean I take after Nana? She says you take after your grandma. How do I take after Nana? I'm not the one that bought the stuff. I don't know. But we got that done. Spent time Saturday
That's
with
a huge
my mom.
project.
And then we did something else. And now I can't think of what it was. But I'm sure it'll come to me. So what did you do this past week, Heather?
I'm trying to think if I have any kind of a inspiring or interesting story. So we live on a street. The house is about 50 years old, and some people have been here that long. Some people grew up on the street and then bought their parents' house or the house next door. Anyway, see, these are kind, thoughtful people that think of each other and take Christmas gifts around, and I don't have anything to give them in return because the shortbread didn't turn out. Pecans are really expensive to do the pecan mini muffins. Last year we did goat's milk soap because we had a bunch from a storage unit, so everybody came to the door, I just handed them a bar of soap. Everybody uses soap.
Yeah.
So anyway, so that was at the door was the Mortensons giving me cinnamon sugar, and I'm like, "You're so kind. I'm sorry that I'm a loser neighbor because I bet the people who lived here before us did something."
Yeah.
Because they even received Christmas cards that I acquire. So I get to read about these people's families that I've never met. Because that's like a Utah thing. I don't know if they do it. Do they do this anywhere else in the universe? Where they send out a Christmas card and it's the picture of all their overachiever children. And then there is a newsletter of how they have taken over the world over the past year. And of course, they're all attractive because, you don't send out pictures of your, got ugly kids. And I don't think they do that anywhere else but here. And it's really weird. I have never done it, and I swear to never do it, ever.
We get, picture Christmas cards, but not the letters. I don't think we've ever gotten a letter.
Yeah, because this is the little newsletter of, the kid that graduated from law school, and, the other one when I say kid, I mean, they're kids, but, that's doctor, and somebody else just had their 5th kid because this is Utah. And like, I never have anything to compare to these people. And so then I get to feel like a loser by proxy because it wasn't even meant for me. I broke a federal law and stole their Christmas card, and now I have shame and envy for people I've never met, and that is why I stay away from social media.
Dwayne says, if you can't tell who the white trash is on the street, it is you. That's us.
It is so us. We are totally.
Marie said, I thought that was a Midwest thing. We get those.
The thing is, okay, here's the honest gosh
know.
truth. You ready for this? No one cares. No one. Grandma cares. No one else cares.
Dwayne has given his warning of the night. Heather is very tired, so anything that comes out of her mouth, I am not responsible for.
Okay, Dwayne, how many hours have I been awake for?
Too many. Too many.
I think it's like I think it's 32 hours. I don't even know why I'm alive.
All right, so Barbara wants to know, have you ever heard of Lake Winnebago? Is that how you say that?
Close, but not quite. Dwayne will be able to say it.
Okay, so Tommy says that's by Green Bay. I've just never seen it spelled. Yeah, I've never seen it spelled. I just have heard it. Yes, I have heard of Lake Winnebago. I just never seen it spelled out before.
So it's a silent N?
I think so.
That's bizarre.
A lot of our lakes and a lot of our towns and stuff are Indian names.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got that because of the Utes, the Ute Indians, and so we've got Native American names here. They're mixed in with Bible and Book of Mormon names.
Okay.
Yeah, we're multicultural, except for everyone's white.
Okay, so Dwayne says 32. And he also says, who be gone?
That's him saying the name.
Oh! Whoops, my bad. My bad. No, we'll be gone. We'll be. I've heard of Lake Winnebago, but I don't know how to pronounce that. Woobegone?
Woobegone.
Lake Woobegone. That one I have not heard of. Unless I've been saying Lake Winnebago wrong for my whole life. Well, since I've been here. Dwayne said he was close. Garrison Keller.
Garrison Keeler?
Oh, see, I'm horrible with saying names.
Mm-hmm.
Our guest is here. Hello, Carol.
Hi, Pixie. Hi, Heather. I watch you all the time.
Oh, thank you.
I think
she might be a little too happy for us.
I'm too happy for you? That's all right. You'll get used to it, Heather.
Well, just bottle it and start selling it.
Okay.
Yes, please. We would love some.
It's called good drugs.
Wait, I don't know if I want that.
Well, no, I'm talking like, let's see, Prozac, Zoloft, the good stuff that keeps me hopefully level.
All righty.
It's part of
two of them.
Following my program. And if I don't take them, you don't want to know the other side of me.
What is your diagnosis, since we're talking medication?
I suffer depression and have for good many years since I was, I would say, a child.
Same.
It all started when I was a child. And I was talking to Pixie and mentioning that working your program, seeing a counselor, learning the tools that you need, different things. I would not be here today if it was not for positive mental health.
That's awesome.
I would not be. I'm serious.
I got to go with my kids in Dwayne is why I'm here.
Yep. Yep. I attempted it when I was in my teens. I attempted it after my daughter was born, and unfortunately, well, I should say, fortunately, I came to my senses, and I swear I got a message from God saying, if you go through with this, what happens if you die and your daughter doesn't? Or your daughter dies and you don't? And it made me realize that there are more precious things out there in life than the problems that I had. So I needed to dig down, and I'm talking dig. It was hard work, many years in therapy, but learning what the root of that all came to be so that I could understand that it wasn't just me. It was what had happened in my past, and I needed to come to terms with it. And as we all know, if we come to terms with things, it's not easy to face it. But once you get over that edge and you're on the other side, you know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. You feel it. And
Yeah.
and am I wrong? You know?
Sometimes the light is brighter than others.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But having purpose. That
Mhm.
is my
Mhm.
everyone needs to find their purpose. If you can cling to that, you can find your way through.
Mhm.
And I have wondered about I got pregnant at 19, and I always wished that I had more. Even at the time, I wished that I had more to bring to the table to give to him, and that's very sweet and true. Um, but as bad as I have been emotionally, my need to care for my children
Mhm.
has always been there.
Mhm.
And so I have wondered if having him young literally did save my life, because I was very self-destructive when I was
Mhm.
younger.
Mhm.
And then when you have, and I was a single mother, when you have something greater than yourself to take care of,
Mhm.
um, then, that gives you purpose.
Mhm. I believe that what you're doing is a wonderful thing, so that people need to understand that they're not alone.
Yeah.
There's
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to face this alone. It's like AA, it's like
Yeah.
Al-Anon. Reach out to
Absolutely.
someone. Find
Yeah.
a friend. Find that network that's going to help you through it, because God only knows we can't do it alone.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
It's too big. It's bigger than all of us. And if we let it consume us, um, it can eat you up.
Oh
And
yeah.
and what I learned was, through many years of therapy, was that fine line from when I wake up in the morning and I'm not feeling good, and all I want to do is pull those covers over my head and say, screw the world. But no, you're right, Heather. You have a purpose.
Did you have you ever been through times where you were angry that you woke up?
Yes. Yes. There's been a lot of times that I wished I never did wake up.
And when you get in such a dark, ugly place, it's not even that you want to die, especially if you believe in an afterlife,
Mhm,
because you'll take it with you. And
mhm,
so it's a feeling of wishing that you never existed.
mhm, mhm.
And yet you do.
Why me?
Yeah.
But what my beliefs are is as we travel down our road in life. Hello, JRKR.
No.
There's always a path, a fork in the road. Oh, thank you. Every day is the first day of the rest of my life, but there's always a fork in the road.
Mm-hmm.
And when we get to that fork, if we stop and say, well, I don't know what's down there, but I think I might know what's down there. You have to, at that time, choose what do you want. Um, we all travel down roads that are wrong, but there's always other crossroads that come up.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
um, I was married twice. My first husband was chemically dependent and was shooting a gun out the window at night in front of my daughter while I was working as a nurse's aide.
Wow.
Some
It
mental illness there.
Yeah, it was my tenants on the other floors that told me it was him. That was it. I divorced him. You know, I said to him, you know, I'm going to ruin you for doing this. And my daughter ended up in therapy. So then I
Wow.
married an alcoholic. My father was an alcoholic. That cycle was still
Repeated. Yeah. It's because you were familiar with the behavior. Yeah.
that felt natural to me, and I was afraid to take that step and see what is in that fork in the road.
Yeah.
You know, the analogy of it all, that fork in the road, when I get um when I feel like I'm backed against a wall, I literally put my hand up and it's like, okay, stop.
The
Reevaluate
surrender.
reevaluate the situation, figure out what is really going on here.
Yeah.
What, you know, look at it in other ways. Yeah, we all have bumpy roads, but we all, because life is a bumpy road.
Yeah.
Yep. I have felt for a long time that if you have not made a disaster out of your life and scraped it back together and carry on, I I really can't relate to people who've never done that. It's not a judgment thing. It's just like you said, the understanding, and yet you don't wish that kind of thing for your children.
No,
But because yeah, it's like if you have completely destroyed your life and it's on you, and then and it's up to you to put it back together. It changes your path, and it's something you carry with you. And you can either choose to be a victim of it or learn and move on.
that's right. Yeah. And learn there's resources out there that can help you,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be talk to a pastor, talk to a counselor, talk to a friend. Sometimes friends can be helpful. And I often will say to someone, if what I am telling you does not feel normal to you or comfortable, don't listen to me.
Yeah.
I don't have all the answers. Yeah, I'm 65 years old and I've lived through.
I would not have guessed that
Me
at all.
neither.
Thank you. I've earned every one of these. And as I tell everybody, just because there's snow on the roof doesn't mean there ain't no fire in the furnace.
That is
I've
cute.
heard that before from one of my grandpas. Grandpa used to run around saying that stuff.
But you know how you had mentioned receiving a message? Um,
Yes.
I have had moments in my life of receiving messages. My daughter is alive at 22 and a half years old because I listened to the message that told me to go to the hospital 6 weeks before my due date. And yeah,
Wow.
and it was the scariest thing I've ever been through.
8 month
But
baby.
um, but she, she's I can't say she's fine. There were some effects, but like her lungs, but she's fine. You know what I mean? Things
Hmm.
you just live with. But so next month is coming up on 6 years since my father died, and I remember the last anniversary of it, and I was thinking about things, and I'm um just going back and forth, and always trying to decide what kind of mindset to choose. And a message came and it said, just because your father didn't try his hardest doesn't mean that you don't have to.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, dang it.
Hmm.
Because I always listen. And so this year, I'm not claiming perfection, but I really did work on letting go of anger because it's time.
You feel growth though.
Um, just relief so far.
Okay. Okay. I used to in therapy, the times that I would go to therapy, I always ended up at the end of the therapy sessions um, until something else popped up, and then I had to confront that and face it. I always felt like when I went into therapy, they were baby steps,
Yeah.
and throughout my therapy, um, I would feel like, okay, now I'm crawling, I'm starting to walk, I'm able to run. And I got to the end where when I went into therapy, I would already have my answers
Yeah.
before I went into therapy. And she said to me, you don't need me anymore. And I thought, well, maybe I don't, because I am answering my own questions. And I
Which is wonderful. Yeah.
How
Being
many
your own guru.
Now, how many counselors did you go through before you found one that was a perfect fit for you?
everyone seemed to work in for its their own purpose. Each one was able to give me the tools to to survive. And it was from each and every one that kind of molded me. Um, and I think finally the last one was, and that was many years ago. Um, that I was like, okay, I have what I need to follow my program, take my meds, and make myself get up every day. I mean, I do have days where it's like, I'm exhausted. I'm just so I am good to myself. And I think we all need to be good to ourselves.
Hmm.
If it's a day, um, I think I was listening to your chat and the first time, and I said, I'm in bed, and it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And you said something like, well, don't stay there. Well, all of a sudden I
I
got up,
remember that. I
I
actually
took a
remember that
shower,
now.
and my husband and I went to Olive Garden to dinner.
I remember that. I
And
remember that now. Um, because at the beginning I was like, I just found her, and now it's clicking.
When you meet so many people who go by different names, like, you know what I mean? When they have their online name and then their real name, yeah, but I can tell you either someone's real name, their online, or what state they live in. I can't tell you all three about anyone.
I'm Carol's Creative Corner.
And what state do you live in?
I live in Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
Yes.
Dwayne's been there. I have not.
Dwayne is your husband.
Yes.
Yes. And he's been here. Okay, good.
Yeah.
He's the sassy one in chat.
Huh?
He's the sassy one in chat.
Is he?
Yes. He's our sassy admin.
Ain't nothing
gotta
wrong
make
with that.
comments.
Believe me.
No, and there's a lot of times where, like, what's really cool is, like, with Dwayne, is anybody who's on the panel when we're doing this, anybody who's on the panel, and he can, like, sense when their anxiety is starting to go up, and he'll do something funny in chat, and everybody on the panel starts laughing.
Mm-hmm.
So I just absolutely love having him as an admin, one of the admins on here, or wrenched people.
It's a survival skill. Yeah, laughter is the best medicine. And I always feel that when I get up in the morning, if I can make someone laugh and brighten their day, then my day is complete.
That's
and
great.
I love to make people laugh, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm 65 years old and I'm a grandmother of 4 boys, and the oldest is 16, and I'm like, okay, but you've got a crazy grandmother.
My kids need to get going. I have adult children and no grandkids. I'm like, what the heck? Give me grandkids.
My kids are not old enough to have kids, so I'm not ready to be a grandma yet.
My oldest has been married for 9 years. That is plenty of time.
Yeah.
And they're reaching 30 because they got married right after he graduated. And I'm like, if you want to have more than one, you really need to be jumping on that, because you don't know what the road is going to be.
Yeah. Crazy.
But it was when my kids were pain in the ass.
I was like, what does that mean?
But I was probably 30-ish when I came up with my motto of, let me see if I can remember right. Each day I put on the appearance of functionality I consider to be a success.
It's the mask we all wear.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Although, having to wear an actual mask kind of makes it easier to hide.
Mothership Products says I'm a PETA.
Yeah, that was Dwayne saying he's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I thought it was a chip.
I told you.
Thinking of pita bread or pita chips.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's why I was like, why are you a piece of bread or a chip? That's what I was thinking in my head.
You're going to hang with me more. I'll make you streetwise.
Yeah, and Tommy grew up. He's very streetwise.
There's nothing wrong with you being naive, Des. Nothing at all.
I'm trying. Like, I've learned a lot since I've been with Tommy. Tommy is like the one that has helped me through a lot. And even now I'm struggling. I'm in a phase in my life that I haven't been able, I'm like stuck.
Uh-huh.
And so, and I thought I was doing a lot better up until my spleen. My spleen really messed me up mentally, and it's still affecting me. And, people don't understand, and I know Tommy doesn't understand either, but it's constantly like there. And then now I'm in this cycle where I just...
Is part of it that you've literally faced your own mortality, that you seriously could have died?
Yeah.
And how many times do people have that life experience in this day and age, in the culture we live in?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a part of people's lives so much. And so very traumatized. And nothing prepares you for something like that.
No,
You
we
don't,
were
you
on a
don't have a
date.
how-to book as the, if I almost die someday, you know, there's no rules for that.
Yeah, and you know, and Tommy's got a good point. He's like, you would think that that would have helped me grasp life better instead of like putting me in a shell. And that's what it did. So it sucks.
So what happens when you put yourself in a shell? What do you do?
I get real,
Exist day to day.
yeah, pretty much. I exist just day to day.
Yeah, I understand that.
But you're blocking out the world and you're missing out on a lot.
And I know I'm doing it, and I don't understand why I do it. And
Self-preservation.
and there, I mean, there are times, literally even to this day, and it's been a year and a half, where it's like, why? I had 1% chance of walking out of that hospital. Why me? Why me? There are so many better people out there that should have survived it.
Then you
Why?
got the survivor's guilt going on.
Are they better?
No. What's that?
Are they better?
To me, like mentally, for me, that's how I feel, that they're a lot better than things that I've been through, the mental health that I deal with.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's hard to explain.
I feel like you are coming from a place of your soul is exhausted right now, and it doesn't know what to do. You are exhausted, clear down to a cellular level, and it is hard getting out of that spot.
And I'm
Really hard.
trying. I'm trying, but counselors, for me, every experience I've had with a counselor, they've always like pinned it on me. Well, if you would have done this, this wouldn't have happened. That's why I asked, how many counselors did you see before you found one that was a right fit for you? Because I've gone through lots and I just don't get along with them.
I've never found one that is a good fit for me.
So and I know that there are some people that counseling works for and other people that don't. It just doesn't work. And
I was
so,
told that group therapy would be best for me by a counselor. And I think
okay.
it's because I'm a little bit arrogant in what I feel I know about myself, just myself, versus what someone who's, but we talked about this before.
Yeah.
Then there's someone who's supposed to be a professional, and it's like, dude, really? Where did you go to college? Where'd you get your, your license to practice therapy? Do you even see me?
Oh, I didn't even realize. Wait. Okay, so I'm making Carol a mod. Tommy had to point that out, that you weren't a mod. For some reason, I thought you were.
And I've seen her around. She's all right. You can trust her.
Oh, you gotta say that louder.
Oh, I says, Carolyn, I've seen you around. You're all right. You can be trusted as a mod.
That's a pretty hefty responsibility there.
I may step over the line a little bit and make it risque.
Yeah.
Dwayne's here. He does it all the time, so you're good.
Something that I don't know the day it happened. I can't tell you the list of I guess I could sit down and try to write a list of things that changed. But when, talking to people, whether online, out in the world, whatever, and people are talking about, oh my gosh, all the stress of my life. And I'm like, I don't really have any stress anymore. And I think number one, the kids are grown. We've got, we still have Jeremy at home. He'll probably be home a long time because he's on the spectrum. Natalie came back with her boyfriend because, world's kind of crazy right now. But somewhere along the way, life, it's not that I don't have problems, but life stopped being paralyzing level stress. And I think a lot of it has to do with life experiences. Like,
Mm-hmm.
if something happens and you're like, oh, okay, I've been through something similar to this before, and this is how I got through it.
Right.
And you just build layer upon layer of those experiences of telling yourself, look what I survived. I can do it again. And I love my children, and Dwayne and I provided them, we hoped, with an easier life than what we each had. But there are things that I went through, and I know Dwayne too, that were like, oh my gosh, our children would just die. Because
Suzanne Chronicle says, Dad's question for you. What not you?
What not you? What do you mean?
is it like, why not you? Is it supposed to be why not you? That may have been what it was.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't. Maybe it's just a combination of.
Why not you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not you?
Well, and two, you have stress coming from so many directions that you did not create, and yet you have to deal with it on top of what's going on inside of you. And I'm not trying to play the victim, but let's face it, ladies. Children and husbands forget that we got our own thing going on. And I always said that I've told my kids, only have 2 children. I love all 3 of you, only have 2. I know you guys, you cannot handle more than 2. And I've always said 3 is hard because you can only smack 2 at a time. And then the third one is running circles, literally. Of course, I never smacked my kids, but you know what I mean. Every mother's had moments of, they're what they really need.
I ain't gonna lie. If my kids deserved a spanking, they got a spanking.
And
I'm telling you.
I was born in the 70s. I'm the youngest of 4.
Mm-hmm.
Dwayne and I both grew up in the least parented generation, and that's part of why I think my kids would die, is because we had to be resourceful. But I was never spanked. My mom gave up on it by the time she got to me, plus I fell into line. It was kind of, you want to eat, you behave. That precedence was already there. And yeah, I was never spanked. I was very, very seldom did I ever have any discipline, which isn't always a good thing, because then children tend to make choices that perhaps aren't the best. But I learned.
I'm the youngest.
That was why I was a stay-at-home mom.
I'm the youngest of 4, and I'm the brat.
Oh,
all I needed, my mother had a cat and 9 tail. And I remember my brothers and my sister saying, you don't ever want to get hit by that. But if I acted up in the grocery store, my mother would look at me and say, I'll smack you right here in front of everyone. Oh my God.
You can't say that anymore. You could seriously get into trouble.
Here you can. Here you can. You go into Walmart all the time and kids being naughty.
When you find yourself slapping kids in Walmart and you realize they're not yours.
No, I haven't done that.
No, my mother, she had the eye. My father didn't parent, which was fine. And then he left altogether, which was even better. But that was the best thing he ever did for me, was leave. And but my mother, she had perfected the eye. Oh my gosh. Okay. Everyone knows when you're sitting in the congregation and your mother is up with the choir and you're like several pews back, she's still giving you that eye, man. You can feel it boring through your soul is what's going to come. Yeah.
Dixie, Pixie, have you come to the conclusion, why you?
I haven't come to terms with it. I don't understand it. And, my mom and everybody keeps telling me, you probably will never understand it. You're meant to be here for a reason. And I understand that. I do understand that. But it's something that I struggle with constantly. And I apologize for bringing it up all the time, but it's something that I struggle with personally, and I have not grasped why, how. I mean, I know how I got to the hospital and everything now, but like I don't understand it. There's like Nobel Prize winners, doctors, people who have suffered what I went through, who didn't make it, that should have made it. I'm just a nobody, and I don't mean it in a bad way.
Yeah, I get
And
you.
I don't mean it in a bad way. I'm not famous. I constantly am struggling with mental health.
But you got riches.
Yeah, I'm not rich. I'm trying to say this without making it sound really horrible.
So this is another thing I'm hearing is logically you get it, but emotionally you don't know how to feel it.
Yeah, that's pretty close. Yeah, because it's just like I'm stuck, and I've been stuck since. I mean, I'm grateful to be alive. Don't get me wrong. I'm very grateful to be alive. I am grateful for my doctors that saved me. I am grateful for Tommy for getting me to the hospital, and recognizing there was an issue. But I'm just a nobody compared to some of the people that have been through it and didn't survive, that could have made a bigger difference than I do. You know what I mean? And I know it sounds horrible, but I'm not trying to make it sound horrible. And I'm not trying to make down cut myself or anything like that. It's just, I can't bring awareness to, and I'm trying, but I can't bring awareness to how important it is for people to get their spleen checked, because you don't know if you were born with AVM. That's what happened with me. I had AVM of the spleen, which is so extremely rare that people who do have it, they don't find out until after the person's passed that they had it.
What is AVM?
Arteriovenous malformation. It is usually found in the brain or your spine. Mine was in my spleen. I had a 1% chance of walking out of the hospital alive, and I did. 80% of my blood was either filtered back in or replaced altogether because I was hemorrhaging so bad, and they had to keep pumping blood.
Did you read what Susanna's Chronicle said? Do you think maybe, just maybe, if you were not here, this outlet would not be here to help others?
No, I didn't think. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
What she's saying is you have a purpose in life.
And that it does make sense. I mean, it does make sense. It's just I feel like I'm like this compared to a big sea of fish. I'm just a little fish in a big sea of fish, and I'm yelling, but it seems like it's not really going anywhere.
And what are you yelling? What are you yelling?
Just
screaming.
Yeah, just screaming. It's like I don't know how to explain it, honestly. I
had a thought. I remember talking to a lady one time, and we're talking about how, with you being so close to death, but then you didn't. What if your soul is simply confused, and because it thought it was going to leave, and then it didn't, and now it's like, wait a minute, hang on, got to reset. It's a thought.
I was saved for a reason.
And and that perhaps you need to find a way to reset. And then continue on.
Why did JRKR say bullshit? I don't. understand that.
I'm sure he was calling bullshit on.
Oh, she said you may make.
Oh, okay, so excuse me.
She said
Oh,
you
here's your
may
picture.
make just as big of a difference. When I said I was a little fish in a big ocean
Oh,
of.
okay. Nope, that's
Uh,
good. That yeah.
I
You
just
know, you feel like a small fish, but all
yeah.
the other fish in the sea are small too.
They seem so much bigger.
It's all about perspective.
It is, and I
You
get
know,
it.
I heard that it was once man made it to the moon. I do believe it happened. And they turned around, and were like, wow, look at the planet. And that was like the first time mankind had a view of the wholeness, just speaking of, and of how small and fragile we really are in the big picture. It just came to me, so I shared it. If somebody thinks of a point for that, we're running with it.
You're a big fish in the ocean. Try to gather small fish and make the bigger and stronger. Right? Yeah.
Jericho, she mentioned CEOs and their importance. They can reek.
I want to go fishing.
We just made Tommy want to go
Yep,
fishing.
on a cellular level, we are equal.
Yeah.
Sometimes I try to just take a break and think about the oneness of the universe and how we're all connected,
Yep.
and that people, they're not here right now. Like, my grandma died 9 years ago. It was her time. It was, yeah. She said it was her time, and she went. I was not sad. I miss her, but I was not sad. And she's not here, but she's not gone. I still have, the things I've learned. And perhaps, when you think about why you instead of these other people, they're just not here right now, and you are.
It's just a really hard concept to accept sometimes, I suppose.
Sure. Yeah, I've never had any experience to compare to it. We did go through a bit of a scare with Natalie, but she was big for how long I was with her, and she came out healthier than she could have, and we took her home sooner than what we were prepared for. And yeah, I was never the same after that either, because it was so scary. But yeah, and then we proceeded to hover over her for the next 18 years, terrified. But and that is very much a part of her, because she has heard that. She's seen the pictures of the ICU. She's heard the stories. You can see it. She's like, Mom, you cannot tell that story without getting emotional. I'm like, I know. But because she was breech, and I was dilated to a 6, and had I not gotten to the hospital when I did, her foot would have fallen through, and she would have died. And that could have happened so easy. But, like I said, I listened, and I told Dwayne, I'm like, we have to go to the hospital. He's like, why? I'm like, I don't know. Because I went in there, I'm like, I'm fine.
I was
what I believe, right? And then when they're like, actually, and then the whole paradigm shift. And we had just moved. We didn't even have a seat to take her home in, because we were waiting till we moved, and then we were going to start collecting stuff for her.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, oh no, we got to go to the store.
I was a plank breech, which means my feet were up and around my head. I came butt first.
And you walk?
Ouch.
Yep, my poor mother. No wonder I was the last one.
That was before epidural. Did she even have a saddle block? She probably didn't even have a saddle block, huh?
I don't know.
Wow. It's an old school thing. They used to do a saddle block. They just numbed you in the surrounding area. It didn't really do a whole lot from what my mother said. And then when I had my third child, and Labor delivery was just nothing. He was 2 pounds smaller because Natalie was C-section, obviously. Jerry was 2 pounds smaller than Ian. And my mother looked at me because I had an epidural. I said, give me the lightest epidural known to man because I want to feel it. I just don't want the pain. And then my mother's like, you're not even sweating. And I'm like, let this be the only moment I have after everything I went through to get these kids here because I had horrible pregnancies. And I'm like, this is it. Just let me remember this one moment and just let's let everything else go. I don't know how I got 3 kids here, except for they were supposed to be here. That's all. That's all I got.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Susanna. Even when I was born, I was telling people to kiss my ass. Well, my
That's beautiful. I like that.
I was born ass first, and I've been ass backwards ever since.
That's funny. You know, when you get to the point in life when you can look at things and be able to laugh about it, you know, because that had to be just incredibly traumatic for your mother, and they were probably very scared that you weren't going to live. And nowadays, that wouldn't have happened to you, you know, most likely, you know, make it to the hospital on time. And but when you get to the point where things in life where you can just make light of, and it's not that you don't remember how it used to make you feel, you just don't let it make you feel that way anymore. Yeah, for me, probably my biggest one is my dyslexia. And because as a child, I didn't get help for my dyslexia, and I went to 10 schools, and so my education was crap. So I thought I wasn't very smart, and then I started working retail, and then I realized, well, I'm at least average. But now with the dyslexia, actually, I knew I was dyslexic. My brother was, but I hadn't been diagnosed till my youngest son was. Luckily, he went through a program and he reads really well. But I still can blunder a word, and it's just funny. You know, or Dwayne, he'll know what the word is. He's so used to how I blunder things. He'll know what the word really is. Oh, here's the best. He's driving, right? Because he always drives because I don't like to drive. So he's driving. I'm trying to read like road signs, billboards, these kinds of things. And he is telling me what it actually says as he is driving. And I'm like, your life must be so boring. Because you see a word, you read a word. I see a word, there's infinite possibilities.
I felt, when you were saying that, I felt like I was in the car with Tommy.
Oh, yeah, and my sister, who is also dyslexic, oh my gosh, we get lost, because that's something with dyslexia is direction. It can reading, writing, math, spelling, speech. I had it all. It affected everything. Speech therapy, you name it. So you get my sister and myself in a car. We do not tell the stories of where we have ended up before we get back to where we should be. This includes Google Maps. We always like leave early if we're going to do something. She doesn't live around me anymore, but we would leave like extra early to give time for getting lost.
Oh, God.
I'm always late.
Well, that's why you said I'm getting lost. I always do if Dwayne's not with me.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, there's been many a times I've gotten lost when Tommy's not with me. I hate to drive as well.
Well,
big cities?
Where we used to live, I could tell you how to get anywhere and the best way to get there by the time of day and season. And here, I don't like it. We have State Street, which anything you could ever want is on State Street. It goes along down through the Wasatch Front. And it's 3 lanes going both ways. And if you accidentally miss your turn, it's like, well, maybe tomorrow. And so I don't go out without Dwayne. Well, plus 2, and where we used to live, because Dwayne had been there his whole life. And then we had moved there by the time I was a teenager. I still went to several schools in that county, but in that general area. And so I was if I'm there, I'm never alone. And it's not a fear of being alone, it's the comfort of everywhere I go, it was just catching up with people clear from junior high on up. And something that doesn't really add up for my personality is I am empathic, but I'm not an introvert. I have no idea why I don't follow that rule. So wherever I would go, it was just social time to the grocery shopping, and I would just go from one person to the next and talk. And then we moved here, and I discovered I hated grocery shopping. I didn't know I hated it because I just talked. So I very much hate the lack of familiarity.
Yeah, we've been here how many years? 8?
Been here 4 almost.
Something. Yeah, we've been here about maybe 8 years. Okay.
And you still don't know your way? That'll be me in another 4.
Well, he likes. Okay, so he gets bored of going the same way all the time. So we'll take one way a couple times, and then we'll take another way a couple times, and he's got to like spice it up and go different ways.
That sounds like a man.
I can't follow.
So, Carol, are you married now? Do you have a significant other?
I do. After my second marriage, I decided that I wasn't going to get married again. He was not only an alcoholic, but he was a gambler and a womanizer.
Fabulous.
And, yeah. He racked up 3 credit cards, $5,000 each.
And what year was this?
This was, oh God, probably the late 70s.
So that was even more money then. Someone who can do math like Dwayne should like do the whole what it is in today's money. Because what were you making like $1.75 back then in an hour?
I was always working 3 jobs to try to pay everything off, and it just got to the point where it was like, wait a minute, we're not going anywhere. We're always in debt. What's going on? So then I started doing research and realized he was taking checks out of the checkbook and signing them and then lying about it.
My father? That was totally a Rex. Definitely. My sister would forge his signature on checks on payday so we could buy groceries.
Yeah, he really, I had a 3-family house in Providence, and we had bought a split level raised ranch in Cranston, and I ended up losing them both to the bank. And my philosophy at that time was, better me lose them than me kill him and end up in jail.
I don't know, but are you sure about that?
Well, now he's in the veteran cemetery, and I have spit on his grave, and he's lucky I haven't shit on his grave. But that's only for fear of having the cops pick me up because I'm mooning everybody.
So who is your significant other now?
Now?
Yes.
I met a man, let's see, 12 or 13 years ago online. He's my knight in shining armor. He is the half that makes me whole.
Aww.
He's from Scotland.
Oh, even better.
Oh, yeah.
He does not want to try my attempt at or it was my daughter's attempt at shortbread. Oh, it was epic fail this year.
Oh, he is
shame to the family.
Steve is the love of my life.
That's wonderful.
I swear that he was sent to me from an ex-boyfriend who died of cancer, that I was very much in love with, whose daughter and son-in-law, the son-in-law was the officiant at Steve and my wedding.
Wow.
He moved here from Scotland.
Ow.
Yeah. no kids.
Why didn't you go there? Oh, because you have kids.
I have to work, you know. And he retired. He was 30 years as a research forester up in the Highlands.
Fascinating.
When he came here for the first time, we had chatted for 8 months online back and forth. And he decided to come here and go Christmas shopping in New York City. So he said, oh, he has a timeshare down in Florida. And he says, oh, I'll use it in New York City. And I said, you're not going to get it. You got to book that 2 and 3 years in advance. And he tried. And so then when he came back and said, well, I can't get a room, I said, well, come stay with me. And he said, are you sure? And his sisters were like, but she could be a rapist. And I, my family was the same
is there anything to lose in that? That sounds like a win-win to me.
It was for me. And I swear he's my knight in shining armor, because this is a man who was, his friends didn't even, he very rarely dated, because he was up in the Highlands living in a camper with his beard frozen, his blanket frozen to his beard. And yeah, he just came into my life, and I went there. He came here. We went to Las Vegas, and to meet up with some friends on Pogo, that we used to play games. And
I remember Pogo.
Remember Pogo? Yeah.
My mom used to play that all the time, and then she was like, "You should try it." So I tried it, and I remember Pogo.
We wanted a room meet, and we wanted a bunch of people. So it ended up, instead of 10 of us, there was like, I don't know, 6 or 8 of us, and we met there. And I got to tell you a funny story. I have sleep apnea, and we're in the room.
You got the sexy mask going?
Well, no, I didn't bring it with me.
Oh, no.
His flight got delayed. And I'm hysterical in the airport, saying to the girl at United Airlines, I can tell you his ticket number. When is this flight coming in? She says, I can't tell you. And I said,
I used to.
Come on. And then he called me. I had given him a cell phone from the States, and he called me and he said, I'm stuck here. What am I going to do? He says, well, go to the hotel. I said, I ain't leaving this airport without you. I don't care if I have to sleep here. So then I realized that his flight was coming in quite a bit late, about 5 hours later. So I went to the bar and I proceeded to have some
your own personal happy hour
teas to pass my time. So he pulls in, we go to the hotel that night.
How did you get to the hotel?
Huh?
How did you get to the hotel?
We both took a cab. I waited for him to come in.
Okay.
So then we both went to the hotel, and I got ready for bed, and I'm sleeping, and all of a sudden I'm snoring up a storm, and he hears.
And then he thinks you're dead.
Yeah. And he goes, oh, fuck. The hotel's in my name. What am I going to do? And he goes, oh, God.
Yeah. Dwayne's got the sexy mask.
And I do too.
I told you, Destiny, about the time it was early Saturday morning, and this is before Dwayne had the mask. And I woke up and he wasn't snoring. I just woke up a little bit, and I'm like, what if he's dead? And then I thought, I wonder how long I can sleep next to a dead body. And then I fell back to sleep. And then when I woke up again, I'm like, oh my gosh, that was my thought process. I can't believe it. So I put it on Facebook, of course, because you have to share.
Oh, Dwayne says, hey, Carol, you're making all of us men look bad. No. Last night and the night before, I'm listening to Whitney Houston on my cell phone. and I'm singing to him and he's rubbing my head. And, you know, at 65 years old, I feel like I have a second chance in life. And I
That's
found
wonderful.
the man that I love.
That is so great. My mom, she found her dream man, and then she got Alzheimer's. What a crap deal.
Oh.
And yeah, I'm like, but yeah, I've said that about a lot of my mom's life, that, you know, you got a crap deal. But yeah, and that's her exit strategy. I don't know if I find out I have it. No, I don't have plans to go through all that. No way.
Well, I swear I have Alzheimer's. I'm just not all there yet.
If you hear a lot of pounding, it's them goofing around upstairs in the kitchen, which is like right there, and I have to keep muting. So I apologize, but I am here listening.
I don't hear it.
No, I don't hear it.
Oh, it's loud.
If you hear
I had to mute
anything
before.
here, it's the dog whining. Dwayne, you need to come do something with your dog. It's having a panic attack.
I met Tommy on a dating site online that I didn't know was a dating site.
Yeah, probably the same one I met Steve on.
It was myyearbook.com, and they switched it to meetme.com.
Oh, no, mine was an adult chat site.
Oh, yeah. No, my I used to play games on myyearbook.com.
Where else would I meet somebody, right?
Adult content included.
Huh? Yes. Yes.
My mom met my stepdad, who I call my dad, one of my dads, because I was blessed with two dads, and then one that helped create me. But I was blessed with two dads, and my stepdad that she's married to now, they met online.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell you what site they were on. I just know that they met. And when you started talking about how they thought you were serial rapist,
these people are saying, Pat D, didn't you know I was a wild lady?
Hey, Pat D. You know, I just thought of something. When I met Dwayne, I didn't even know how to get online. He did. I didn't.
Yeah, Tommy is the tech guy.
It was an adult website, and I had friends that live here in Rhode Island, and I knew them, and we used to play songs and tell jokes, and guys would come in and say, oh, you want a cam to cam? What makes you think that you've got something better than somebody else? I don't think so. Well, he put his cam on, and I thought, oh, how cute he is. And then when he spoke, it's like, oh God, he's got me at hello.
That's so cute.
But yeah.
She knows how to lay or sleep next to a dead guy.
She still can't get online how to lay or sleep next to
Dwayne.
What's he talking about?
Dwayne's oxygen compressor, because you got your little box, and then he has the extra oxygen, and it hums. And I'm a white noise sleeper, and I haven't been able to sleep as well since it broke. He's waiting for a manual so he can fix it because they're expensive. And then our son, who claims to be emotionally scarred, but he still has the bedroom below us. He said that not having the ceiling hum and listening to that is messed up his sleeping. His sleeping's always messed up, but it's contributed to it.
Now, does he have the one that comes down and the mask with the nose piece?
It's like the whole. It's sexy, man. I tell you, it is. Yeah. Hubba.
Well, if it moves and I'm facing my husband, he gets blown off the bed.
I told Dwayne, I'm like, I'll wait. He doesn't remember, but I'll wake him just enough to adjust his mask, because I'll be like, I tell him, you're leaking. because that sound is more of a high pitch to it, and that is annoying. Yeah.
I probably couldn't hear it.
Yeah. Take your hearing aids out, and that's what Dwayne does. Dwayne takes his hearing aid out, sleeps on his good ear, and he's dead to the world.
Yeah, I'm supposed to wear hearing aids, but I don't. I have
He
them, but I
finally
don't
does.
because there's too many loud people in my house, and every time I put them on, they'll start getting real loud, and which causes a headache, which really hurts. And so I take them out, and they're like, "Oh, we didn't know you decided to put them in today." And I'm like, "Really?"
You never wear them.
Yeah, because I don't. I stopped wearing them for the simple fact is when I first got them, they were always loud. And if you don't wear them, you don't understand how loud that can be. And it's like, and I don't want them to be quiet. And I've turned them down as far as I can go. And they're still, it's like they're screaming in my ear. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah,
Dwayne has learned to ignore me whether his hearing aids are in or out.
That's what he just said. I am tone deaf to the specific tone that is in Heather's voice.
Yeah, he has no idea how many crucial decisions have been made in conversations I've had with him that he is not listening.
Interesting.
But see, I went from a deaf Marine father, my father was out by the time I was born, to a deaf Marine husband, which Dwayne was out by the time I met him. And yeah, so I figured what it was is when you get used to talking about someone when they're in the room. And so, I was already used to it.
So Peter said, I met the love of my life on a website, Plenty of Fish.
Oh,
I remember hearing that one.
Yeah, I think I've heard of that one.
I know that Tommy thought I was catfishing him when we first started talking.
Dwayne says it's settled. I like Carol. I'm just a crazy old bitch.
Your personality is so much like my godmother's. She passed away a few years ago, but your personality, it just, your spunkiness, everything, it reminds me of my aunt. And there's a couple people on YouTube that you take bits and pieces of them and you put it all together and you have my aunt to a T, my Aunt Shirley that passed away, but she was cool. She was so cool. And you just remind me of her. You're real easy to talk to and hang out with, and that's awesome. That's awesome.
I can get down with it.
Actually, you're about her age too, or what her age would be if she were still with us. So that's even cooler.
So for me, Carol, you're one of a kind.
Yes, I am. I swear they broke the mold because I did come out ass backwards when I was born.
Am I making your Google thing go off?
Who, me?
Oh no, I think I made Tommy's Irish girl Google Siri
go off.
It used to be my phone, so I had the Irish girl accent.
Yes,
for
Peter.
Hey Google.
You and I have a connection, Peter.
So Susie Woozy said she met her fiance on OkCupid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what that is.
I've heard of that one,
but I'm guessing it's a dating site.
Yeah, and it can work. Years ago, people were like, "You met him on."
But yeah, it doesn't have that stigma anymore. Heck, when Dwayne first started watching videos on reselling. And then he started reaching out to people. And then he started watching their live shows. And then he started joining in. And I used to give him crap about all these friends are online. I now have more friends online than in real life. But the thing is when you have friends online, you can actually find people that you have something in common with. It doesn't have to be a proximity thing anymore. Because when Dwayne and I moved to the street, we saw a guy out working on his truck, having a cigarette, and we're like, okay, there's one neighbor we can hang with. But and I'm not saying anything bad about the people around here. I'm just talking about commonality.
Mm-hmm.
I can be friendly, say hi, Merry Christmas, all that. But
my camera goes
it keeps doing weird things, but most of the people I live around, I have nothing in common with, and I would never hang out with them. So the family who I mentioned up the street that we do hang out with, we're both from Pioneer Heritage, and I was telling her about there's a Mormon church song that my great grandfather wrote, and she's like, "Oh my gosh!" We're sitting out on her driveway. She goes into the house, comes out with this huge binder. And I start flipping through it, and there's the song. And that is not the first time that this has happened, but it's like, of course, we're related.
Where do you live, Heather?
Utah, where everyone's related. Yeah. And I'm related to many, many people. Wow, what's Destiny laughing about?
Pat said, Charlie, aka Pat D's, I call him Charlie, said, I went for a burger and got a redhead. And no, it wasn't Wendy's. It was Burger King. I tried to go back through chat and trying to grab, see if there's any questions or anything like that in chat. And of course, Dwayne says, hopefully she wasn't on the value menu. Oh, Lord.
Dwayne and I will come up with fake stories about how we met, especially around here because of how conservative and religious people are. So we have this complete fictional story of how we met, but even less conservative how we met. He and I still need to come up with a good lie because we knew about each other. I worked with his brother's fiance, and we met after the strippers left at the bachelor party. And the reason we went to the bachelor party is we had done the bridal shower. And then I'm like, okay, I want to meet Dwayne. And so we went to where the bachelor party was, and I was like, man, he needs a girlfriend. Of course, he thought what I was wearing was ugly. I'm like, really? That was it? You didn't even admire my little butt that I had at that time? It's not little anymore. And but what sold me right away with Dwayne was I knew that there was no bullshitting with Dwayne. What you saw was what you got.
Yep.
And there were no games, and he was a straight shooter. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to have to tweak a few things in my life because
you have strippers in Utah? Yeah. You weren't one of the strippers, were you?
Oh, hell no. I can't dance to save my life. And take off my clothes, I would be on the floor. Be all tangled up. It would be disastrous.
Did you hear Tommy? He says they ain't going to the strip club to look at your dance moves. Wow. Wow.
You're bored in the hospital? You mean you haven't met any of the nurses yet? Come on.
And oh wow, it sounds like something's going on.
He said before that he was in some machine.
What did I see him say that he
fell? He was shoveling snow and he fell and really messed up his back. And now he's in something at the hospital.
Like a contraction or whatever. The traction?
Yeah.
Traction? Where they had, in the cartoons, and they got the casted leg lifted up. And
well, Pete, you ain't walking out of there Christmas Eve if you can't walk.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that's going on. That is really awful.
That is awful.
Yeah, it is. Shoveling snow Saturday, hit a patch of ice and fell on his back and messed it up real bad.
That's horrible. And
we've
been trying to get our 20-year-old son to get out there. It's just barely anything. And it's like, get out there and shovel. He won't do it. I'm like, You don't want me slipping on that. You'll have guilt when I die.
Yeah, we had some little bit of snow and rain mix for a short
Dusty.
time today, but that was it.
Probably icy as hell.
Yeah, we have slush. We just have a bit of slush. It would take nothing
Yeah.
for it to be removed, but I am not going to remove it because if I remove it, who will think it is his mother's job?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Tommy thinks
Why do you
it's
think my garbage
icy.
can is overflowing in the kitchen right now? Mm-hmm.
You're
About-
what?
What is?
The kitchen garbage can is overflowing because I want him to take it out.
And he hasn't taken it out yet.
Sounds like
By Wednesday.
my son.
I'll do that. I'll just keep piling it.
Oh, I can only imagine, Pete. Let's see. I have a visual.
It's 34, but feels 24 right
Why
now.
don't I just say 24? It doesn't matter what it is. It only matters what it feels like. Let me see what it is here.
Yeah, it feels like 24, but the temperature is actually 34. And it says, looking ahead, a coating to an inch of snow and ice Wednesday morning through Wednesday evening. Snow expected Wednesday. But they've been telling us this for the last couple of weeks.
32 here.
Okay. Our guests are here. I might be back.
Okay. All right, I'm dropping Carol's link in chat.
Oh, thank you.
If any of you are not subscribed, please do so.
We'll talk about what she does on her channel.
Oh yeah, do you want to let everybody know what goes on your channel so they know?
Oh, do they really want to know?
And Tommy says inquiring minds would like to know.
I'm
Hi, Paul. Paul is actually my friend Paul in chat. He just came in. Haven't seen him in a while, but he's from Scotland.
Is he really?
Yes, he's my Scotland friend.
Well, bloody hell. I took a dump here a month and a half ago. I was on a Sunday auction and I walked away to go to the bathroom and my foot got caught in like one of those canvas bags, the handle, and down I went. And ever since then, my back has been bothering me. I probably should go get it checked. Sometimes it bothers me more than others. I do have a what are those? Those things that cinch you up. Oh, it's not a corset, no. Oh, but yeah.
Dwayne, he said, "Wow, that started out good. I took a dump."
I took a dump. Oh yeah, no, wrong kind of dump. And I didn't have to dump after I took a dump. But Steve came running upstairs and it's like, "Are you all right? Are you all right?" And I was like, "Yeah, did you feel the earth move under your feet?"
Tommy's over here smirking.
I feel the sky tumbling down.
Oh, right. Tommy's over here going, "She is hilarious." He loves you.
You don't know the half of it.
Well, Tommy says he lurks your channel all the time.
Oh, do you? Next time come in, it'll be much better.
He's over here. He's trying to type. He stopped.
You know, I was on a cruise, but it was in between husbands. And I was with my sister and the family. It was after my parents died. And there was this darling little French maitre d' at our dinner table. And I woke up one morning and I had this red mark on my neck. So at night, dinner time that night, I said, "Philippe, did you come into the room last night?" But of course, mademoiselle, he said. I said, "You know what, Philippe? Next time, wake me up. It'll be much better.
Sorry, that was very loud. My bad.
Oh,
Wow. Or would you like to share with everybody what your channel is about?
well, I do auctions. I started out. I started out making jewelry. I've been making jewelry for years, many, 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 many years. Um, and I wanted to start selling because then I realized when I started pulling things together, saying, "Holy cow, I've got over 300 pieces of jewelry. I think I better start getting rid of some of this." And so I wanted to join the auction circle, and had a little bit of a struggle trying to get into rooms. Well, then Adam from Record Crate helped me out, and he spent countless hours helping me go through and learn the whole StreamYard and YouTube part of it. And then I started getting into clothes and toys and everything else. And I was only doing auctions one night a week. Then I started doing two. Then I started doing three. And I started bringing new people in because I felt that if they learned the ropes and we did it together and they branched out and they grew, then I would feel good. So I've had a few new people start out in my room. Gina Fancy is one. Brandon, who's on with me on Sundays, he was another. And there's a couple other people that said that they started with me. And let's see, Susie Woozy, she sells with me. And so I have quite a few followers, and I love it. And I don't care whether I make $5, $10, or $100. I have fun and I enjoy it. We have a good time in the chat. I get crazy. Nothing new there, but and so I've really gotten to the point where I've got a ton of stuff around the house. My husband, before he came back and forth from Scotland, he used to go to car boot sales and charity shops, and he would make enough money to be able to spend the 3 months that he was here and the flight fares just doing that. And even though he has a pension from Scotland, but you know, since he's been here, we've loaded the house with stuff. He goes, but he does very well in eBay. I was doing eBay for a while until I got into auctions, and now auctions is my life. I still do work full time. I'm an office manager at a community development agency. We purchase blighted homes, fix them up, and rent them out, and make affordable, safe housing for people. So I love my job. I only work about 21 to 25 hours a week. But it's enough for me now that I'm on Medicare, now that I'm 65. Yes.
Tommy says he can't wait till he can get his ARP card. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, that's what.
Oh, the ARP card. Christ,
yeah, he can't wait for that.
They'll give that to you at 35 now.
Well, his birthday is Christmas.
Ooh.
And he'll be 49. He's 9 years older than me.
29?
He'll be 49.
Oh, 49.
49. Yeah, he's way older than I am. Although he pretends like he's younger than I am. A lot of times you need to drink what you're drinking. Dad's Vintage Garage. Hey, John. He's like, I need to drink what you're drinking. I'm drinking coffee. don't know
I
if
had
you
some good eggnog last night with some brandy in it, and it was smooth.
see, Tommy likes yours. You like yours with brandy too, right? Or is it
Eggnog,
whiskey?
yeah.
Yeah, he loves his eggnog. The only time he has it though is Christmas time, which I have to pick up.
Hugs and
You know,
kisses, Pete, and please stay in the hospital until you're ready to go home. We wouldn't want you to hurt.
yeah. Merry Christmas. Heal
Merry Christmas.
fast.
Hugs and kisses, Pete.
I just now got it on StreamYard, so I could show everybody.
One of the things that I wanted to kind of share, something, not getting away from the fun and everything. I think doing this channel is terrific. I think that it can help people. But one of the things that I learned when I was in therapy was that a therapist had me close my eyes and picture a hill. And on the hill is this beautiful oak tree. And under the oak tree is this little girl. And as you walk up to the little girl, what do you say to her?
Hello. That's what I would say is hello.
Okay.
I'm
I would hug that little girl and tell her, you're not alone anymore. You're here for a reason. So my inner child self is no longer alone. She is with my adult self.
okay. I get it.
Sense?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
It's that connection from the pain when you were younger and feeling like you're alone. That resource and that tool helped me through life, knowing that that little child that hurt from what happened to me when I was a child is no longer alone. She has me as my adult self.
Wow.
Yeah, it's heavy, huh?
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's like there's times when sometimes I feel alone and I go back in my mind to that child and I hug that child and say, I'm with you. You're no longer alone and you don't have to fight this alone. And I think, oh, I've done that. I had to give my little self, my child self, a hug and tell her I love her. It's true, Susanna. It works. And I think it's one of the tools that helped me throughout my growth and going through the process of realizing that what happened to me was not my fault.
Right.
For years, I felt that it was all my fault. And I think until I broke that cycle and realized that I was a child, that person was an adult. It wasn't my fault.
Right.
And I think if anybody who's in the chat does that, uses that resource like Susanna and I have, to think, kind of just, it's like a meditation and you're closing your eyes and you're picturing that, on a nice breezy day and sunny, and you go up to that little girl and What are you going to say? I love you. I'm here for you. You're not alone anymore.
I think I need to have a conversation with my little self because
Okay, good.
all I saw was hi, hello. I didn't have all that other stuff. I think I've been disconnected.
Nope.
Definitely gonna have to.
Yeah, you're right, Susanna. It helps more people than you know. And coming to this today, I think that's one of the strongest things that I wanted to share with everybody. Because I kept thinking, well, what am I going to say? I kind of go with the flow, but um, yeah, Pete, you're a counselor, there's certain tools that you learn either being a therapist. And it's funny because quite a few therapists have said to me at the end of sessions that I should go into social work and become a therapist. And I thought, oh God, no, because then I'd bring everybody's problems home with me. But being here and reaching out to people and sharing like this, it helps me too. Because, like I told you the other day, my wisdom, yeah, and I do have some.
You have more than you realize.
Well, yeah, that's because I like to joke around but with what I learned and what I went through, if it can help someone else, then not only making someone laugh, but my day is complete. And I did some research after talking to you about people people wanting to commit suicide between
8 and 9.
Mondays between 8 and 9. And that made sense because weekends people are busy and but then when come Monday night, it just kind of makes some people feel like they're alone, but they're not. So this is really a good time to be doing this.
Yeah, and I am so thankful for Tommy because we had been discussing for a few months possibly changing it to a different day. But then I was thinking about it and then kept procrastinating, which I'm very good at. I'm very bad, but good at procrastinating. And finally I was like, all right, so we're gonna move the day. We just got to figure out a day to move it to. And it popped in my head, what is the worst day of the week and time? So I typed it into Google. Me and Google, we don't get along. I couldn't find nothing. It was like throwing me this and that, and it had nothing to do with what I was looking for. So here comes my computer tech, Mr. Tommy 2.0, and he typed it in for me and helped me find the perfect time. Because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are really rough. Mondays are the highest suicide rate, between 8 and 9. And then, the anxiety gets bad, the depression and other mental health stuff gets high, but not as much as suicide or the suicide rate. And so I felt that it was very important to tackle that, even if it's just that at the moment and everything else kind of flows with it. If we can let people know that there's other alternatives, let's do it. It's not conventional. This isn't your typical let's get together and talk nothing but mental health, because everything around us I know affects our mental health. There's laughing, joking, serious, sad, every emotion that you can possibly think of, is all intertwined with it. And so so I'm not one to conform to a normal way of doing things, and I can't be scripted. I can't. That's just not who I am. So I
Mhm.
just kind of go with the flow. And, sometimes it sounds like we're not talking mental health at all, but in all actuality, it is. It's what people have going through their head at that moment. And so let's bring it out. Let's talk about it. Let's, you know, if they're sad, yeah, there's a lot of sadness when it comes to mental health and struggling and stuff. And I do want, positive just as much as the negative, but we have to tackle that negative to
Mhm.
get to the positive. And so it's really touchy and very um it's a very fine line
Mhm.
that I'm finding.
Mhm.
And so I'm hoping that at some point, it helps somebody. I know I just started on Mondays. I was doing it on Saturdays. Now I'm doing it on Mondays. And, it's,
Mondays and Saturdays would be good because then you're reaching people that if they're working during the week and then they're home alone on the
mhm,
weekend, um, I mean, any night
right.
would be, and you're right, Suzanne, it only takes 5 minutes to talk to someone. But if people realize that there are resources out there for
Hmm.
them, accepting the fact that you have a problem, even accepting the fact that you can't change it, but you're accepting something and you're holding on to it.
Yeah.
Like two people who are fighting. All right, I don't agree with you and you don't agree with me, but we both accept the fact that we can have our own opinions.
Yes. And that's the greatest thing about it is there, since I started doing these lives, I'm noticing that there are more and more people coming out and starting, you know, lives, safe places for people.
Yep.
And I was just like, that's awesome. So every time I, uh, I hear that there's another group out there that, is giving people a safe place. I go in there and I say hi, I support, and
Hmm.
they're like, "Oh, I saw what you were doing," and I'm like, "Hey, you don't have to worry about it. We're all here to help. The more people that can do it, the better." And
Yep.
I'm very strong about that. Very
Yeah.
strong about that because there could be people that come into my chat and what I'm offering isn't something that's going to help them, and that is okay. But somebody that I know that's doing it and I put them out there, go follow this person or go check this person out and they have a good fit, that's all that I care about, helping. And I know Tommy keeps telling me you can't help others until you help yourself. Well, I understand that, but this is part of how I'm trying to deal with it in my way and trying to figure it out and having the people that come in and um, bounce ideas off and stuff. And that's what I love about it. And Saturdays are really rough for us during the summer. And so I don't want to um, say I'm going to be there. And if I'm not able to be there, you know, it's pretty tough. So, and Peter even said, he's like, I'm on Saturdays and Pixie is Monday.
Yep.
And then there's another one, Paper Plate fan. He was here last week. I will try to find his link and put it in the description down below. But he does one during the week as well, around like lunchtime. And so, but there are more and more people that are Wednesday nights is Emily Conway. She does
Oh, yeah.
interviews. She
Hmm.
does interviews with people and with mental health and stuff like that and brings light that way. And so, I mean, each one of us is doing something different, but in the same field. And it is so awesome to see. So
Hmm.
awesome to see.
I'm seeing more and more mental health chats coming in,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's awesome. I think what you're doing is totally positive.
Thank you.
You know, you, Pete, Emily, and I know there's got to be more out there. You know, there used to be a stigmatism with
Hmm.
someone who had mental health. That does not, I can't say it doesn't happen anymore because there's always going to be stigmatisms to whatever, to someone's race, to someone's religion, to, you know,
Yep.
they were always marked as crazy. And, oh, you know what? They're going to get shock therapy next. Whether you get shock therapy or not, that might be what you need.
Hmm.
But that's for a doctor to decide. But in this day and age, with COVID and people out of work and people near evictions and people without food and the necessities of life, mental health is really gonna blossom. And they talk about it all the time on the news. So these chats need to be here. I'm
Yep.
not a professional. You're not a professional,
Nope.
but we've lived it.
Yep.
And like
Exactly.
Susanna said, you know, we all need to learn how to love ourselves and be safe with ourselves.
Right. And in my description too, down below, I state clearly, I want to make sure that everyone knows that I am not a doctor or a counselor. I am someone who lives with these things every single day.
Yep.
That's the thing. You know, a lot of doctors, they just go and they're book smart with it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't struggle. They don't know what it's really like to live with it. They can only just open their book and say, "Oh, this is this. Okay, well, you have to do this, this, and this." But that's like the perfect scenario, but that doesn't work for everybody. You
Exactly.
know, we each have, struggle with our mental health. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I've been diagnosed with major depressive disorder. It affects me differently than your depression affects you. I have PTSD, anxiety, severe anxiety. It affects me differently than somebody else who has the same diagnosis. It
Mm-hmm.
can't look at a book and be like, I mean, yeah, it helps, but you can't look at a book and expect every symptom to be the same with each person.
Mm-hmm.
And so here we are.
Yeah. Right, Lynn. Book and reality are two different things. I worked in a hospital for 22 years as a researcher assistant, I should say. Um, and there were PhDs that I said, yeah, they're book smart, but they don't have no common sense.
Tommy and I were just talking about that yesterday or last night. He took me on a small date. We don't go on big dates anymore since my spleen because I don't want to end up back in the hospital because that was what happened before. But yeah, so we were that's the exact same thing he just said last night.
Yeah.
How crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So Susie Woozy says shock therapy is accepted and considered very helpful in treating depression with meds when meds don't always work. So I actually have where about 2 months ago, I was going to get the ECT treatments. That's what it's called, ECT, electroconvulsive therapy or compulsive.
Shock therapy.
Thank you. It was shock therapy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And they were telling me that it was the best thing that could happen to me. And, because medication doesn't work that well for me, I get to a point within a week or two of taking it, a lot of the medications, and I just don't like how it makes me feel. I need to be able to function as an adult, not sleep for the next 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. You can't do anything. And then they up your medication. So it's always constantly messing with you. So they thought that ECT would be great. They promised me that it was definitely going to help me. I already have a memory issue. And the biggest thing with ECT treatment is your memory. My adoptive mom, she had ECT treatments about 15 years ago. Her daughter just passed away in October from stage 4 colon cancer. Her memories of her daughter, most of them are gone, of her growing up. She will never get that back. I did not want that to happen. And so I talked to me and Tommy both talked to the kids, told them what the situation was and what the treatment would entail. And my kids said they'd rather deal with me crabby than to deal with me not remembering things that have happened while they grew up. And so we chose for me not to go through that. If that ends up being like the very last resort and there's nothing else that they can do for me, then maybe. But at this point, you know, I just met my therapist and that was the first thing that she prescribed for me was ECT. Very first thing. Tommy was like, no, something's not right here. She doesn't even know you.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, I mean, and she did. She made it sound like it was the best cure in the whole wide world, which...
You might need another therapist.
Yeah. Well, I ended up, like, I contemplated for over a week if I was going to do the treatments or not. The place that I was supposed to go and get the treatment, they didn't even know if my insurance would cover it, and they were already scheduling the appointments. Tommy was like, absolutely not happening. So I messaged my doctor, my regular doctor, talked to her, and so I got her opinion because I trust my family doctor 100%. I love her. She's amazing. I love her so much that when she left the clinic here in our town and went to the clinic, a different clinic, about 40 minutes away, we followed. And so, so I trust her with anything and everything. And I talked to her and she's like, what? She's like, she did what? And I explained it all. And she's like, no, absolutely not. And then, you know, you see all the horror stories and all that other stuff. And you know, she did have one client. She didn't say names. That's not how she is. But she said one client it did really good for her, but the other one she has no idea because she ended up moving, but it was not doing him any good. So there was that 50-50%, that 50-50 chance. So ECT treatments is definitely something that you have to do your research on big time because it can either make you not remember anything at all.
I probably would start with my medication and have it changed. I know mine is chemically imbalanced. If I'm off of my medicine, even just for a few days, I feel like I'm no good. I'm not worth anything. Nobody likes me. Everything I do is wrong. That I really shouldn't be here on this earth. And that's right when I start feeling like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, I'll say, whoa, you're not following your program. You got to back on your meds and you got to start following your program. You're not going to lay in that bed and you're not going to feel sorry for yourself because if you stay in that bed, that's not functioning or living. So it's like I have to kick myself in the ass and say, come on, get up, go take a shower, you'll feel better. And I do every time. I know it. But it's like I have to make myself do that. And my husband will say to me, you know, have you taken your medicines? Because he'll say, what's the matter? He knows the look on my face. What's the matter? I'll say, I don't feel good. Have you taken your medicine? No. Well, so then I got to go take my medicine because I know it's going to make me feel better.
Yeah. I'm still trying to get used to this medicine that they prescribed for me to me. And I have a night one and then I have the daytime one. And now I have to move up to the 50 milligrams. And I am terrified because I didn't like what the 25s did. I mean, it made me tired. It kind of made me feel like I was drunk.
Sounds like you don't have the right medicine.
And now I gotta go into the 50 and I'm just like really terrified to do it.
My Lyrica does that to me.
Yeah, your Lyrica does do that. Tommy has Lyrica, and Lyrica does that. Makes him feel like he's drunk without having a drop of alcohol. But that's because of how his system works.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, she's on maternity leave right now. My psychiatrist is, or my therapist lady is. And so, until March. So I see her March 27th. So I kind of got to push through it.
Sounds to me like you're not on the right medicine. I mean, there's so many depression medicines out there, Wellbutrin and
yeah, and I've tried all those, like all the ones that you've mentioned before, and yeah, they weren't good. This one is called DESVENLAFAX. It's a newer one. Let me pull up.
Desinaflex. Des, Anna, Flex. I don't know. What is it? DE.
Oh.
It's probably
VENLAFAX. Oops, that's tab 50 milligrams.
Just gorgeous summer.
What?
You're welcome. I just scored you some. No cash out of pocket.
What? Oh, sorry, Tommy. I'm live. Stop it. Sorry. He distracted me with Rachel Ray stuff. I apologize. Okay, this is what it is.
desvenlafaxine.
Yeah. Oops.
And what does it say? DES.
It's to treat depression.
It may improve your mood, feelings,
and energy level. Something in the brain. Wait, is that the right one?
DESVEN.
LAFAX.
DESLAV. Is it DESLAV?
No, it's DESVENLAFAX.
INE.
Did I spell that wrong?
Nope, it just popped up.
It's to treat depression.
It's a serotonin uptake inhibitor, SNRI.
I don't know what any of that means. I just know that it's supposed to help and it's supposed to take this, and then she's adding, once this is in my system for a bit, she's putting me on a mood stabilizer because I have issues with controlling my mood.
Well, it's a serotonin uptake inhibitor, which is an upper, but it affects the serotonin level that's in your brain.
Yeah, I still don't understand what that means. let's see.
Yeah,
I don't know.
non-reprofene. Yeah, I don't know what that word is.
Yeah, like, so let me stop sharing. I'm gonna move Heather up for while she's. So the med, I'm colorblind or shade colorblind, so I can't tell you what color this is, but this.
It looks like a peachy color. No?
Hold on.
You know what? I can go up here and go to images.
Yeah, that didn't work. Sorry.
Is it
blinded myself.
it's round, right?
Yep, it's round.
And it's 50 milligrams.
50 milligrams. Do you want the stuff that's on it? It says L349. Oops, sorry.
L349.
It looks brown to me, Susie Woozy. It says it's a light pink round on the bottle, but it looks brown to me.
It's from GoodRx.
But that's just because of the shade stuff.
It's a generic PRISTIQ.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Let's see. Yeah, and it's extended release, so it's supposed to have help 24 hours. So I mean, it's crazy. It really is crazy. The whole medication route. I've been on some pretty crazy stuff, and I just don't like the way that medications make me feel. That's why I can't wait until they make weed legal. Because I can handle floating eyeballs. I can't handle all that other weird stuff that goes on with the medications and stuff. It really, it sucks. It sucks. And, you know, Tommy didn't ever, let me try this over again. Tommy never dated somebody like me before that had mental health. And so he's had to do a lot of research and try to help me with things. And he's a no nonsense type of person. And so let me look that up.
Citalopram?
I don't know what that is. I've never heard of that one. Celexa? I don't even know if I'm saying that right.
Yeah, it's a Celexa. It's an antidepressant, but it's also a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor.
No, I don't think I've ever. I've never taken that, but I'm going to write that down because there is a doctor that is covering her while she's on medical or maternity leave. And so I'm sure they can talk to her and see if there's something that Depakote and I do not get along. Barbara, I was on Depakote for 2 years, and I had already had issues with my teeth because of a baseball bat. And so they had to remove a lot of my teeth on the side. Well, because of it, oh, hey, Swamp Picker Glenn. Thank you for stopping. Have a good night. It made my teeth very chalk. turned my teeth into chalk.
Hmm.
And I kept telling them I was on it for 2 years, and I didn't like that either. But they kept telling me that, oh, this is normal. This is normal. Just keep taking it. It'll go away. Well, after 2 years, I was like, I can't do this anymore. And they just kept upping it and upping it. And I'm like, I can't do this anymore. And so I no longer
Mm-hmm.
take that. Never will. And I was on Seroquel, 400 milligrams of Seroquel, the whole time I was pregnant with my son and had no idea.
Hmm.
Or I should, okay, so I got pregnant with my son. They had put me on Seroquel before that. I found out I was 6 months pregnant with my son, and I had already been taking it for 6 months, so they didn't want me to stop because they were afraid I was going to miscarry him.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have a lot of issues with him. And so, 400 milligrams. Although I like the fact that it helped me sleep and I was able to sleep through the night, did not know that it was going to affect him. And I should never have taken it while I was pregnant.
But they can't stop you
Nope.
right off the bat. No.
No, because I would have miscarried him. At 6 months, I would have miscarried him.
Not only that, it's probably not good for your system that your body is used to it. And if you go cold turkey,
Yep.
it's like it's like a prednisone. They have to wean you off of it. Probably. It's what my guess is.
Yeah, they really weren't very clear. They just said that the only thing that the doctor said was that they couldn't take me off of it because if they took me off of it, even winged me off of it, it could kill him because his body was so used to having it every night. And I felt crappy because I had no idea. I was taking 2 pregnancy tests a month and they were coming back negative. And then all of a sudden I found out I was 6 months pregnant. And I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't correct because I was taking 2 pregnancy tests for the last year every month because of the medication I was on, and they were coming back negative, false negative. Or false negatives because I was pregnant. I was 6 months pregnant with him. And when they put that wand on my stomach to show me that I was pregnant, he flicked the doctor off. That was the first ultrasound picture I got, was him flicking off the doctor.
Oh my God, that's hysterical.
My daughter did the same thing. I'm just like, yep, definitely sassy kids, I'm telling you.
Little whippersnappers.
Jasmine is identical to Tommy.
So you all are learning a new side of me, huh?
Well, Butrin gave Susie Woozy panic attacks. Huh. Barbara says, I'm very sensitive to medication, so I take half doses. Yeah. Medication, I have the opposite with medications. Like, what is that word called?
Adverse effect?
Yeah, I think that's the one where, like, if it's supposed to keep you awake, it makes me fall asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get opposite. But Tommy's the same way with certain medications too. They couldn't figure out for the life of him, or the doctors couldn't figure out for the life of them, why he was having these weird side effects that he shouldn't be getting. It should be keeping him awake, and it was putting him to sleep. And yeah, they found the same thing out with him. So I was like, hey, we got something in common. Suzanne Chronicle says, it took 3 years to finally find it. I have been on it for 7 years now. It was the best for me. I know we all are all different. Yeah, I'm at this point, I'm willing to try anything as long as I don't have to have my brain, no offense to anybody else, but have my brain fried. Because I already have memory issues. And I already have, all that. So it's crazy. It really is. It really is. And I didn't know, honestly, I remember the whole situation you saw when you were in bed and everything, and then you and your husband went to Olive Garden. My brain, telling you, it should have clicked a long time ago. And I was like, oh, I just found her, and no, I found you a long time ago and didn't realize it. Hey, do you hear that?
Sounds like Alexa.
It, it is, but it's the Irish version. It's got the Irish accent, and it keeps going off.
Oh, did my sound just go down? Huh.
That was crazy. Tommy's upstairs.
Des, Susanna wants to know if you have the Rh negative factor in your blood type.
Honestly, I don't know. And I don't see, I was O negative, I think it was, and with my spleen, and then I lost 80% of my blood, so they had to do a transfusion of 80%, and that's filtering out my own blood, trying to save as much as they could and putting it back in. So I don't know if that changes your body blood makeup or what, so I don't know. But I don't think I am. I'm gonna have to look that up because I've heard of it. I know they tested me when I was pregnant. Oops.
She's O negative. I'm not sure if she would have an Rh negative factor.
Yeah, I don't know how that all works. I'm not real familiar with blood and all that stuff. But yeah, I do know I'm O negative, or I was O negative. I don't know if it changes. I don't know. I don't know how that all works. Oh no, it doesn't. Okay. Oh, that's good to know because I had no idea. Dwayne even says your blood type does not change.
No, it doesn't. Can someone with O positive have an Rh factor negative? I don't know. I'd have to read that up and.
Yeah, I don't know. I know they did the blood work when I was pregnant, and didn't have any issues.
I'm O positive.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure I'm O negative. But things were going so fast that day. For all I know, I know my kids are B positive, and so is Tommy. All three of them are B positive, and I know I'm O, but I can't remember if I'm O positive or negative. I think it's negative. So. It's because of the adverse reactions to meds. Okay.
So you're O, so your blood mixes. You can give. Your kids are what? B
positive.
And you're O negative? Did they have to have shots when they were born? Because the positive and the negative?
I don't know. I was out for 2 hours after Joey was born, and nobody ever said anything to me. And Jaslyn, they took her out of the room right away after she was born. I was awake for her, but they took her out of the room right away. So I don't know. I don't think they did, but I don't know.
There's something to do with. That's what I said. Did you have to have the shot after giving birth?
They gave me a lot of shots after I gave birth to the kids, and I don't remember what they all were.
Because if I'm not mistaken, if the mother is a negative and the babies are positive, then there's that there's something to do with that.
Let me see. I want to look and see if my blood type's on my record.
Only the mother for the shot. Yeah.
Let
Yeah,
me see.
I knew that there was something to do. My mother was a maternity nurse. And of course, working for 22 years in research, you learn something about, but that wasn't anything that I studied was blood.
I'm looking to see. I know my sodium intake is low. I see that.
You have your blood results there?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
My WBC count
It's your white blood count.
is high. It's almost off the chart completely. But this is September 30th, 2020. What in the
Is
world?
that because of your spleen?
I'm not sure. No, my spleen was May 23rd of 2019. Or yeah, May 23rd of 2019. But everything's been wacky since.
So this is relatively new since you had this had your spleen out.
Yeah, everything has been so crazy. I have to be careful of pretty much any type of bacteria.
So Susanna said, so you had an infection when you had your blood done?
They didn't tell me I had an infection.
Because a raised white blood count is usually an infection, right? Susanna, do you have a medical background? Susanna lives not far from me. She's in Massachusetts and I'm in Rhode Island. Yes, I thought so.
Huh. No, they didn't tell me I had one. But I ended up also having surgery. I had surgery. I'm trying to think. I had to look it up.
When they did your blood, did they put you on an antibiotic or anything?
They always put me on an antibiotic, especially now that my spleen is gone. They have to for any type of, so that there's no chance of bacteria going in because I can't fight bacteria.
Mm-hmm.
So the 27th of October, I think it was the September, wait, hold on. The end of September or the end of October is when I ended up going in and they had to close up the hole for my spleen and my stomach. That wasn't fun. And then, so according to this, September 30th was a Wednesday. I was released from the hospital. Shoot, wish I remember. Hold on, let me look. I can tell you my appointments too.
Mm-hmm. Sounds to me, that's why I said it's relatively soon. Not even a year.
29th, yeah. Yeah, I had quite a few of them. I'm not allowed to donate. It's been a year and a half since my spleen, but I'm not allowed to donate blood because I had so much blood given. So already is still, and I don't know how long it takes. I know they told me it could take like up to, I don't know, 3 years for everything to even start remotely going normal. But
Yeah, the body's still adjusting.
yeah, and let me tell you, my insides are still rearranging. Let me tell you, that is not fun. And that's a year and a half later, and I have a lot of missing organs, just saying. But yeah, September. I wonder why they didn't tell me that I could have had because my WBC count, this was right after the day after my surgery, where they closed up the diamond shaped hole that I had, and put the mesh in. Which, let me tell you, if you guys ever have to have mesh done, good luck. That stuff hurts. It's still hurting from it. But my WBC count was off the chart. I'm trying to see. No, I don't want to print it. My result was 17.4 by 10.3 UL. And normal low is 4.1 by 10.3 UL, and normal high is 10.9 by, or times 10.3 UL. Mine was 17.4. I don't want to try to print that. What are you doing? And then what is this? I don't even, like, I really don't even know what half of this stuff is. Like MPV, Neurotopline. I
Oh,
don't.
troponin?
Is it Neutropil?
N-E.
Let me see what it is. Oh, it's a white blood cell count. It's a something other.
All right. Take care, Dwayne. Have a good night. Nice meeting you.
Yeah, have a good night. We're gonna actually get off here shortly. Probably boring you now because we're looking up all this stuff.
No.
But thank you again, Carol. I hope you will come back.
I would love to.
I had an amazing time. And again, I did drop Carol's link in chat for anybody who would like to follow her. I'm going to be putting her link down in the description below as well. She does auctions, and I watched tonight, and I was laughing my butt off. It was awesome. So make sure you subscribe to her. She's a good time. She's awesome. She makes you laugh. She's smiling, which is very contagious, which is awesome.
Good time, girl. Yeah, my phone number's on every bathroom men's room.
I thought the thing entered. My bad. But I did just drop Carol's link. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yes.
I'm going to try to go live Christmas Eve for about an hour or two. So if anybody wants to come and hang out for a little bit, we're going to do another just kind of mental health get together for Christmas. If anybody wants to go, and then I know Wednesday night. Oh boy.
Thursday night?
Christmas Eve.
That's Thursday night.
Oh, is it Thursday night?
Yeah.
Oh, Christmas is on Friday. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, so Thursday night, not Wednesday night, Thursday night, I'm going to go live. I'm not sure exactly what time yet, so keep an eye out for that. If I don't see you beforehand, Merry Christmas, everybody. And we will see you again next Monday. But we do plan on going live on Christmas Eve for anybody who'd like to swing by and say hi. Hopefully, Peter will be out of the hospital. I hope you heal up. I'm sure you will see this afterwards. So heal up. Don't rush yourself. We know what it's like to push ourselves and not heal the way we're supposed to. So just take your time. Much love, everybody. There's my little heart, and we will see you next time. Do you want to say anything before we head out?
Merry Christmas, all. And well, I always end my auctions saying, be safe, be healthy, be happy, be positive, but not with COVID.
That's great.
Not
That's
with
great.
COVID.
Yes, exactly. Please don't. And I am going to end it with, you are not alone, you are worth it, and you are loved. Have a good night, everybody. Much love.